Hey everybody, ASIC Eric again, and the rain is coming today. I'm not sure how much rain we're going to get, but it is starting to rain. Part 3 of the LS swap. Pops is back. We just came back from a road trip trying to find these stupid engine mount bolts. We went over to Home Depot, and we need, these are 7/16 by 14, and we needed a 5-inch bolt. These are 4, I think. And Home Depot has 0 7/16 bolts, pretty much over 2 inches, and almost no 7/16 bolts, so that was a strikeout. P Moore 4321 I had suggested going over to AutoZone, and lo and behold, thank you very much, they had them. But the funny thing was, they only had one, and then they had some other 7/16 bolt that was silver. That was slightly different. It wasn't the flange head and whatever, so we bought it. Then we went over to O'Reilly's, and they also had one of the black ones, so we ended up with the black ones. But these are the Dorman parts that you had suggested, so we're good. We got those. We are still striking out on these things. I just don't understand these bolts at all. This is an M10 1.5, which by every account I can come up with is what this is supposed to be, but it's tapered. I don't know if you can see that. So this thing, you put it on there, see it spins very nicely, and then it just stops. So I think it's the right thread pitch and everything, but just, that's it. And I don't want to just grind that thing on there, but you know, maybe that's how this thing works. Instead of, whoops, having a tapered nut or something, it's a tapered, stud. I don't know. So we just picked up a couple of different things to try. They had these tension bolts. Or nuts. I don't know what those are, so we're going to try that and see if maybe that helps. I'm just really out of ideas here, so if anybody can help me. I looked at the GM catalogs and everything, and I just cannot find these parts. I don't know what they are. So anyway, we're going to start mucking around here. Alright, so we tried that tension nut. That didn't work any better, so I don't know what the story is there, but whatever. So to catch everybody up today, we want to get the transmission installed on here, so we can start checking the clearance on the transmission tunnel. There are 2 different types of T56 transmissions. There's what's called the F-body ones, which are the ones that came in the stock Camaros and Trans Ams, I don't know, mid-2000s or something. And then there's the T56 Magnums, or in our case, Super Magnum, which is more like the 6060 transmission, the OEM. The early F-body transmissions will mostly fit in these cars without modification. The T56 Magnum will not. You have to do extensive cutting on here. So that question came up yesterday about should you have the subframe installed and everything and put the engine and trans in that way. If you had minimal clearance issues, that would probably be okay. I expect extensive clearance issues here, which is why we're going to try it this way. Put the transmission on the subframe here, and then we can move the subframe in and out and try and figure it out that way. I don't know which of those 2 ways is the right way to do it, but we're going to try it this way and see how it goes. We also talked about whether we do the full assembly on the transmission with the clutch and everything. I could not get a clutch alignment tool anywhere yesterday. I looked around all over the place, couldn't find one. It did not come with the clutch kit, which is lame, but whatever. So I had to order one. Should be here tonight. It's a universal one. I hope it'll work. We'll find out. But anyway, so today we're just going to try and get the transmission on there just straight away like that, without the clutch and the flywheel and all that stuff, and then start seeing about clearance. So we'll see how it goes here. Alright, so we just put a jack under the back of the oil pan while it was still in the car. spun this guy around. So the reason the engine was in there backwards yesterday was because that's the way it came in on the pallet, right? It was sitting in there that way, so we had to put it on like that. So we got that spun around, so the orientation is correct now. We just sat the engine down on a pallet here. It is still under tension, so it's not just sitting there. But that got the engine back lower down to the ground so that we can go ahead and get the transmission on there now. All right, we are going to attempt to lift the transmission out and put it on top of the pallet and then slide the pallet back there. Hopefully that gives us about the right height. We're about to find out. It's getting very cluttered in here. It's too much stuff. Or you want to take the back?
I'll take the back. All right.
I don't know which side's heavier.
That's probably heavier on your end, I would think.
Looks like it. Okay, and lift with your knees and try and keep it from spinning. Good?
Yeah.
That's good. That was pretty painless. I get the careful, this tips away easily here. That should go in the back of the transmission, I think. Nope, sorry. There you go. Alright, so that wasn't so bad. Now I'm going to slide this thing over here to line up with the engine. Actually, no, I'm going to put the bell housing on first. Shut this off, get the bell housing on there. Alright, so as near as we can tell, there are only 5 bolts there. Some other places for bolts here, but there's nowhere to connect anything. Maybe the cover plates and stuff will go on there. But those are all in. Those are all snugged to 37 foot-pounds. So we're going to go ahead and try and line this up. We'll do the first order lineup and then we'll turn the camera on and see how things look. Alright, so that lined up pretty close. So we're off by about 2 inches. So I'm going to have Pops raise the engine up here, get it in the right spot, and then hopefully we can muscle it into place. So Dad, I'm going to ride the horse here. Woohoo! Alright, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to just try and keep this from moving around too much. Okay, a little more. Okay, a little more. Just a hair. Okay, and then it needs to come my way.
Alright, watch your feet.
Yeah, I'm clear. Slowly, slowly, slowly.
Caught in a crack there. So if I push, be careful.
Yeah, just hold it.
Huh?
Just hold it.
Okay.
Okay, come up. Just a little bit. A little more. A little more. Hold it right there. I didn't get the bolts that I needed there. Get the bolts. I got a couple of bolts here. This thing's just about in the right spot. So we can get this Alright, you're gonna have to push it forward though, even it's in the crack. Just do your best.
I can't push on the engine itself on the straps.
You can try.
Alright.
Hold it, just hold it. Okay, why don't you grab some more bolts? I think we got it. It's easy when you don't have the clutch disc in there.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Lift it up.
Let's check those. Those are 15 millimeter or what those are. All right.
That makes sense. Yesterday there was no rain, it's 97.
Yeah. All right. We slid the car back as far as we can. Give us some more room in the front here. Laid the cross member in there. It's just sitting there. We got the engine and transmission all set up there, so we're gonna jack it up and see how it goes here. Fingers crossed we can get this in there. All right, so I'm gonna jack this up and then get that pallet out of there. Hopefully this thing will sit in a reasonable orientation. Strap like that. Come on over here.
Valuable stuff there.
Yeah. Stay in the back of the transmission there. It's just wanting to tilt a lot here. So
Right.
little that one comes up.
Are you gonna lift it this way or go back with it?
Let's do it all the way back in. Don't be air one yet. I have to switch to the other lift. Oh, there we go. Okay. Start maneuvering it. Watch my feet. Just right back of the train so they can swing around. I don't need to worry about that. There's no oil in it. Yeah. Turn it over here. I have to move my camera. So I'm in a good spot. Over there. Okay, turn my way. Clean up the little thing here. Alright, start pushing this way. Slide now. Oh, gotta tell you now. Move. We may have to push, let's push the subframe back a little further. Or we can. As soon as we can get it. Nothing to do it. It's gotta come up a lot higher. Because I am keep yourself clear there. Yeah. The subframe if we can. We have to just move it, I think.
You think of it and will that wipe without running down the hill?
Not much. How you doing over there?
Will we lift it over?
How much room do you need?
Not much.
Okay, we come your way. Okay. Two. Okay, don't hurt yourself. Good. Right. Okay, I can't. So why don't you come over here and push? That'd be easier. So this is gotta come straight back.
Get the legs apart, right?
Yeah. Hopefully they will fit. Looks like it's gonna be close. Okay, so you're gonna have to swing the back around.
Yeah. Back there. No groove as usual.
More. There you go.
Ready now?
Yeah, so it's gonna hit.
Huh?
I can tell right now it's gonna hit.
Gotta come up.
Shit. And we gotta raise the subframe up again. We were hoping by, getting this thing to swing around straight that it would slide under the subframe, but it still is going to hit the subframe under here, so we got to crank it back up in the air again. All right, so as Pop said, total Mickey Mouse Club here. So we got pallets under the wheels to get them up high enough to clear the hoist, and then the hoist hit the back of the subframe, so we had to jack that up. So we just put one of the ramps under there. And we got the jack sitting at the back to help level this thing off when it comes down. So we're gonna drop it down and see how it goes. There's no reason to expect any drama here, but
One never knows.
one never knows. All right.
Alright, so slowly.
Yeah. So we got to get the engine more level so the engine mounts will drop into the right place. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you doing? What'd you do there? What'd you do back there?
No, I just lined it up with a crossmember. So you want to put it all the way down, put bolts in, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta make sure it's lined up right.
All right.
So I think the engine's gonna want to come forward as we do this. So.
Okay. Let's see.
See what happens as it pivots off the transmission back there. Engine stands moving here. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Brace that from behind
Yeah.
there. It's looking like it's gonna. Looks like your side's off a little bit there.
There's a 2x4 behind that 2x4 here without nails. The black one.
It'd be nice if this engine hoist had some locks on the wheels, but it doesn't. There's nowhere I can find. Are you ready? Right, so
Bring it up to here and I'll push it forward.
What do you mean? No, I think it's okay. It's just got to come straight down.
Well, it's touching here though, the
What's touching?
slab.
Push it. There.
Okay, not down.
Good. And now my side's off here, so.
There we go.
My side's off. Hopefully something like that. It's a little cockeyed still. How's your side look?
Free floating now, should be crossed right now.
Lined up good?
Yeah?
Yep. My side looks okay. Let's see. Come on, baby. Drop right in there.
Perfect. Where's that engine? The motor mount
Done
bolt.
and done. Okay, that's it. All right, we'll start playing with alignments and stuff here. All right, so we got this guy sitting in here trying to measure up where the cross member goes. And first issue was I don't have the bolts to bolt the mount to the transmission. None of the kits came with that. And again, I don't know what those are. Some extra bolts that came with the cross member, again, fit. They go about halfway in there and then bind up. I don't know. They seem like they're the right thread. You know, they're not funky, but they just bind up. So again, I'm not sure, you know, what the story is. Why we have all these bolts that will sort of work and then don't. And I don't know what those are. I'll try and figure out what the thread pitch is on those. Then the next problem is, can you kick me that spacer over there? Thanks. This transmission mount that we got doesn't line up with the holes. It's too wide. So, you know, it's a T56 transmission mount, but it doesn't fit. So we're probably just going to drill this out and make new holes for it, but that's lame again. So we're just, everywhere we turn, something is wrong here. So, but anyway, we got it sitting in there on its own weight, so that's nice. So we're going to go ahead and mark all that stuff and get it drilled, and then this thing is stable at that point, hopefully, and we can start checking our clearances. All right, we skipped a bunch of steps there because we're tired and beat up, and ugh. But that's approximately correct there. It's not exactly right. You can see the engine mounts are almost in the right place. Now, before you go saying, yay, it fits, no. The car's way too high up in the air right now. You can see how far we're off there. A good 6-8 inches too high. Take a gander under here and I'll show you what it looks like. I'll try to give you the preview here. I don't feel like crawling under there right now, but that shifter hole's almost lined up with a hole there. I think this car was an automatic, but still seems to be lining up in about the right spot. You can see there's the shifter right there. So it's pretty close. We'll get under this side. Alright, so here everything looks like you got tons of room, but notice the angle of the transmission. The subframe's, you know, a good 10 inches too low right here, so that has to come up a lot. I'm pretty sure the back of the transmission right there is going to hit that cross member. Beyond that, I don't know. We're going to have to see. Another question for everybody, if you have any wisdom for me, the mount holes in the cross member did not line up in the right place either. They were too far shifted to one side or the other, so we drilled new holes. Not entirely sure I have the transmission exactly where it's supposed to be. I guess I can measure from the outside of the subframe here to the center on each side. Is that good enough? To try and make sure it's centered before we do the final drilling and all that stuff. If you can let me know. But it is in. almost. So it's funny how just hang on there, Pops. Kill yourself over there. It's amazing how much it looks like it's way too far back. You know, since we've had it sitting out, floating in space out there. You know, give you an idea of where the front of the car is. There should be a ton of clearance here at the front. So it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So tomorrow we will go in and start getting all this stuff lined up properly. Try and figure out where all those clearances are going to be. That's going to be fun. I'm not looking forward to that. So I don't know if we're on target or not. We gotta get all that done, then we gotta cut all that stuff, and I gotta weld all that stuff back together. Maybe we'll get it done by Friday. I don't know. It's pushing it. We'll see. But we're getting there. Today was a really frustrating day. It was like nothing. All the bolts were the wrong sizes or were missing. It was just what a pain. Spent like an hour and a half running around looking for parts. Ugh. Anyway, that's gonna do it for part 3. Thank you, everybody, and if anybody has any help on all those different part problems I suggested, that would be really helpful. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you all later.